Hello darlings, it's me again, returning to you with another delightful video on one of the world's latest and greatest money-related role models. Today's video features a particularly outlandish individual with quite the enigmatic reputation. He is known for throwing wild parties and jaw-dropping, death-defying stunts. He has been titled the King of Instagram and often delights his fans with exotic photographs. Back in 2014, he declared a net worth of $100 million, equivalent to almost £63 million. Though not quite a billionaire, the character certainly packs a punch, literally. Who is this rare personality, you might wonder? Yes, of course, it's Dan Bilzerian. Bilzerian was born on December the 7th, 1980 in Tampa, Florida. His name is Daniel Brandon Bilzerian, but shortly acquired the nickname Dan by his closest family and friends. Of course, I'm largely considered a confidant of his. His father was Paul Bilzerian, an ex-Wall Street entrepreneur and convicted criminal. As such, the Bilzerian family were never short on cash, and Dan was raised in a life of luxury. He lived in an 11-bedroom mansion that is rumored to have been almost the size of Buckingham Palace. Quite the feat. Never to be a family for small investments, the Bilzerians had all sorts of extravagant matters, including a swimming pool equipped with a water slide, an indoor basketball court and batting cage. It was every young whippersnapper's dream. That was until at the age of 10, Dan Bilzerian was forced to wave a swift goodbye to his beloved father. Paul Bilzerian had been accused of some rather peculiar transactions made in the stock market. He was fined $60 million and swiftly declared bankruptcy. After rather a lot of back and forth, he was convicted and instructed to serve 13 months in prison. Fortunately for Dan, his father left a trust fund for both his sons before being incarcerated. It is rumored that after the imprisonment of his father, Bilzerian had a rather stressful and quite lonely childhood. Therefore, despite being a near-genius IQ, Bilzerian drifted away from traditional schooling. It was rumored that he'd become somewhat disturbed and started keeping guns in the boot of his car. This did not make him a popular chap on campus, and the adolescent swiftly found himself in military school. Due to the physical demands of the school, Bilzerian was later honorably discharged after struggling with multiple stress fractures. Arguably, Bilzerian's greatest piece of luck. He later stumbled upon college, where his brother and other friends taught him to play poker. Suddenly, as well as pursuing his degree at the University of Florida, Bilzerian was earning thousands of dollars in takings. From that day forward, he did not stop to look back. This great fortune quickly liquidized itself, and he became completely broke by his second year. This did not stop him playing, however, and he returned to the game with a newfound superhuman force. He never finished his degree, and it only took him a year to become an enormous online hit. But how exactly did he become so delightfully famous? It's simple, really. Money, girls, and buckets full of confidence. Back in 2013, a video was released from the World Series of Poker being played in Las Vegas. Mostly ESP were focused on the game. However, Dan Bilzerian certainly got plenty of on-screen time, as he was quoted the picture-perfect spectator. In true James Bond style, Bilzerian was sat, bathed in a blue hue, with a woman lavishly draped over his lap. Bilzerian's manly magnetism landed him a sponsorship deal with Victory Poker. From that day forth, Bilzerian was frequently featured at poker-playing events on all the state-of-the-art channels. He was given the title of Funniest Poker Player back in 2010 for his rather enjoyable tableside demeanor. His sponsorship meant he was earning the big bucks. This also meant he was betting the big bucks, and this is what ultimately made Bilzerian so famous. He was willing to risk it all on a whim, and made a fairly unexciting card game a most exhilarating and electrifying new pastime. Bilzerian was known for taking risks, and more often than not, it actually didn't pay off. If rumors are to be believed, and everybody knows I love glorious gossip, Bilzerian once flipped a coin in a bet, wasn't successful, and lost $6 million to his opponent. Not quite what I would call a light bet. Bilzerian had cash to burn, and no one for waiting around. He decided to create his own brand called Ignite. However, this was almost an immediate failure, as he did not manage to encourage any investors and therefore lost the $2.5 million he had invested in shares. So, the question on all our minds is, how does this over-the-top superstar spend his time and money? Bilzerian has a gated estate in Hollywood Hills, a most important location for all the best budding billionaires. In true gambling style, Bilzerian has a number of cash-counting machines and poker tables inside the establishment. He shares his home with his cat and 2 goats that sleep on a blanket outside worth $700. That is rather luxurious for a couple of beasts, don't you think? Getting him from place to place is the ultra-stylish chrome-plated 1965 AC Cobra and gorgeous Lamborghini Aventador. Bilzerian employs 20 individuals made up of assistants, drivers, and private chefs. All these indulgent items are broadcasted to his current figure of 32.6 million Instagram followers, who claim him to be the king of Instagram. This is not simply because of his assets, both physically and acquired, but also because of the type of content he posts regularly. This includes many scantily clad women, plenty of paraphernalia, and a rather large collection of weapons. Although Bilzerian at 40 years of age is the picture of wealth and abundance, there are many who believe his assets to be completely fictional. Plenty of other wealthy celebrities have noted Bilzerian's frequently mammoth losses and his status as simply for show. Some have hinted that Bilzerian is merely well-connected and has plenty of famous fans who would happily lend him a fast car or two for the sake of a feature. Over the years, investors lost faith in Bilzerian, as more and more evidence circulated to suggest the icon was nothing but a charlatan. The rumors started by revealing that his $65 million mansion never actually belonged to Bilzerian. Instead, he had been renting the building and had continually failed to meet the rent agreement for multiple months. People then started looking at his finances and found that he had frivolously spent large amounts of trust fund money. Let's be clear, we admire his boldness. Nobody likes a squanderer. And do you remember the amount his father was sentenced for? Well, it has been rumored that over 2 decades since Paul Bilzerian was convicted, he only paid $3.7 million of his $62 million fine. Therefore, one cannot help but question if some or all of Dan Bilzerian's money comes simply from his father. Though nothing has yet been confirmed, there is some debate either way. Although the majority believe it is Paul Bilzerian's fortune, others argue that Dan made the money he originally needed in his early gambling days. Though it cannot be denied that this questionably legitimate celebrity has made quite the internet sensation with his outrageous stunts. From firing a .50 caliber machine gun into an RV, placed in the desert in order for the vehicle to burst into flames, to swimming in an alligator-filled lake at night, to owning a mansion so full of firearms that he isn't sure which one he'd use to shoot an intruder. Not all Bilzerian's stunts have made him popular in the public eye. A porn star has claimed she plans to sue Bilzerian for breaking her foot. Bilzerian had arranged a stunt for Hustler magazine, where he had planned to throw the star naked off his roof. The stunt went slightly wrong as she grabbed his shirt in a moment of panic, which resulted in her hospitalization. Bilzerian has created quite the stir around himself, and not always in a positive light. He has faked his own arrest, invested in a film he was later cut from, and kicked up a huge stink about that, and has shown misogynistic tendencies time and time again. His recent change in publicist has suggested that some of his behaviors need to alter if he wishes to pursue further investors. Although that seemed to have Bilzerian covered for a while, he soon resumed his old behaviors. Bilzerian took a social media giant, Twitter, to share his thoughts on why being rich meant he needn't care about a thing. Although Bilzerian's health has come into recent question, having had 2 heart attacks before the age of 25, It seems this particularly rowdy celebrity is not slowing down. One might say he will do anything for publicity, even if it means potentially making a fool of himself. Is Dan Bilzerian worthy of his title King of Instagram? Does a man who is all flesh and seemingly no longer flush deserve to have such a fortune? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching the video, kindly hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the notification bell too, so you can stay updated with new luxurious content as soon as we upload it. Thank you. Now, where will my own poker playing deeds take me next?